Chris Stuckmann fell off really hard. Any YouTuber that's been around as long as he has is likely to go through a rut at some point, but there's something deceitful about this falloff. The story of how Chris went from a movie reviewer with fun and insightful commentary to filmmaker and movie reviewer with next to no commentary at all is something that merits a scientific study, and that's where we come in. Over a decade ago, Chris Stuckmann started his YouTube channel to talk about movies and deliver short, punchy reviews packed with jokes, references, analysis, and recommendations.
Morgan Freeman?
That's right, son. Morgan Freeman.
Your movies are awesome.
Thank you.
So what's on your mind, Morgan Freeman?
His views were full of character and attitude that showed his passion for film.
Is this Who the would send me this?
He even had a long-running series on his channel called the Hilariocity Reviews, where he'd go the extra mile to make comedy sketches to start off the videos.
Okie dokie, time to watch a movie. Gotta pick one I haven't seen before. What do I want to watch? Seen that a million times. Great movie. The Wicker Man, starring Nicolas Cage. It's a creepy looking girl with white eyes. Clearly she will be featured in the film at some point, I'm sure of that. Well, Nicolas Cage is in it, so it's 100% guaranteed to be good.
Then he would go scene by scene breaking down the movies while pointing out specific references and describing the ways that the movie was bad.
Okay, so later on in the movie, Cage is in bed sleeping, and we get the obligatory dream sequence that seems to come with all these stupid horror movies where you have a character dreaming about something that maybe is slightly integral to the plot. Except in this movie, he dreams about the truck accident again, which I have already said has nothing to do with the plot. It's just this scene they keep referencing over and over again for no reason, to have Nicolas Cage have something to be stressed out about.
In addition to all that, Chris also had the benefit of being one of the first movie reviewers on YouTube, which led to the rapid growth he experienced in those first few years.
No, of course not. He's not gonna do anything with that ever. Why would you think that? Maybe they put that scene in the movie so they could show him wake up and look out the window and see the little girl running down there. He sees the girl and he's like, wow, there's the girl, I'm gonna go chase her. It was like someone was like, hey, we probably have to have something in this movie that's even remotely thrilling. Okay, we'll have Nicolas Cage like hanging from a piece of wood. So after that random scene of him just running around at night and we don't really find anything, it doesn't lead to anything, we meet Lily Sobieski's character. Yes, I remember that actress's name. Sorry.
But here's where things start to go sour. A couple of years ago, Chris reveals a new series on his channel called My Filmmaking Journey. In these videos, he would detail his ambition to become a movie director and what he's doing to realize the hope with these videos was to inspire others and hopefully to garner support for his foray into Hollywood.
So for a long time, I've been trying to figure out how I can incorporate what I'm doing in my life with filmmaking into my YouTube channel to share that side of my life with you guys, my endeavors, the things I'm trying to do, the goals I'm trying to reach. I've been trying to find a way to best incorporate that, and I feel like if I had a segment that was all about my filmmaking journey since I was a kid until today.
While that's not a bad thing, it quickly became apparent that Chris was now far more invested in being a filmmaker than in being a movie critic. He even said it's been that way from the start.
And I've been very candid about the fact that film criticism has never been my goal in life. Filmmaking was always and still is my goal. That's what gives me the most inspiration. Talking about movies online is just fun. You know, it's something I enjoy doing.
Little did everyone know that was the beginning of the fall off for Chris. Over the years, he had begun to sound more and more lifeless in these reviews as he spoke more flatly and failed to show any excitement in the tone of his voice.
Best International Feature at the Oscars. This guy drives around and listens to music and cleans toilets, and we get to watch that happen for 2 hours. If that sounds like an awful time to you, then just don't watch the movie. For everyone else who enjoys the idea of a slice of life movie that slowly reveals more about a character through personal interactions and through things that affect his daily routine, this is a movie you're going to want to see.
Even while talking about a movie that he likes, you can barely stay awake for his commentary, which is in stark contrast to the early Chris Stuckmann, who was full of energy and passion. But now, not only is Stuckmann monotonous, the content of his commentary is also light as well.
Most of the movie, everyone is floating in zero gravity, and so more than likely these actors were on wires and harnesses for a large majority of the filming, which I can imagine was extremely difficult, especially from a directing standpoint. Setting up shots and feeling like you can compose a movie is really hard when everyone is just kind of floating around.
He inserts a compliment to the director out of nowhere there. Another good example comes in his annual Best Movies of the Year list, when he inadvertently sells the idea of why people should watch a particular anime movie being a chair.
First up is another gorgeously animated star-crossed romance from Makoto Shinkai. Filled with dazzling sequences and state-of-the-art animation, Suzume evoked emotions I didn't know could be stirred within me, especially when you consider that the primary relationship involves a chair.
A move so ridiculous that other YouTubers found it to be hilariously bad as well.
In me, especially when you consider that the primary relationship involves a chair.
Whoa, stop everything. I have to see that movie. He talked me into it. Damn, that was convincing.
The problem is, right? The problem is the people that watch him for whatever reason. Like, he's got no incentive to put any effort into his videos because people just keep watching them.
This was worthless.
I'm gonna hear somebody read a list.
We're supposed to do this.
I mean, no
Sorry,
opinion.
but it's not the condensed summary, but that review was, this is a film by so-and-so that involves a chair. Moving on.
That was it. If he was just my favorite creator, and I would see this like, okay, now what? Should I watch it?
Yeah, at this point, I guess you have to
animation
go on faith. You're like,
chair.
I guess I'll just check it out. Yeah, okay.
One particularly bad example of Chris Stuckmann losing his edge came in October of 2017 when he released a video titled Blade Runner, multiple viewings required. In it, he reviewed the acclaimed film directed by Ridley Scott in 1982.
In 1982, Ridley Scott apparently did not yet occupy that prestigious group of filmmakers, as the theatrical cut of Blade Runner was tampered with after disastrous test screenings.
What was remarkable about this review was that Chris admits to not liking this movie when he first saw it, but rewatched it 4 to 5 times until he liked it before then deciding to talk about the movie on his channel. The reason being, of course, that Blade Runner was beloved by many, and instead of having and sharing his controversial opinion on a popular movie, he just waited until his opinion changed to the popular one instead, which ruins the authenticity of his commentary.
There's so much to glean from this movie while also appreciating it on a surface level. It's taken 4 viewings and over a decade for me to finally love it, but I can confidently say that I do. The only real issue I have with the film is the forced romance between Deckard and Rachel, but it's the type of flaw that one can overlook when everything else is such an explosion of sensory and auditory overload. I feel that Blade Runner is a flawed masterpiece. If it was perfect from the get-go, Ridley Scott wouldn't be so tempted to change and alter things. Nevertheless, due to its cultural impact and significance, I'm giving Blade Runner an A+.
You can even see through its praise that he clearly has issues with the film that he's refusing to talk about because he doesn't want to become unpopular. All these problems for Chris became far worse optically in 2021 when he announced that he will put a stop to any and all negative reviews and only focus on appreciating films.
As far as movie reviews, I'm still going to talk about movies. What I'm not going to do anymore is trash filmmakers. And I know that for some people that's going to be a disappointment. And I also know that that will probably cost me some views. But I just don't enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy talking negatively about film. It was hard to make amateur films as a kid, and I knew that. but it's very difficult to make them professionally as an adult as well. And meeting filmmakers, talking to them at festivals, going onto their sets, really seeing how much work goes into even your average, not so great movie. I just don't feel like doing that anymore. I don't want to talk negatively about filmmakers. I don't want to trash filmmakers. It would be strange for me to be making movies and also shitting on other filmmakers.
The reason behind the decision seemed flawed and self-serving. First, he didn't seem to find a difference between rightly criticizing a movie and trashing filmmakers. Then he gives his reason, which is that making films is hard, as if anyone ever thought that it was easy.
I don't enjoy talking negatively about film. It was hard to make amateur films as a kid, and I knew that. But it's very difficult to make them professionally as an adult as well.
It was also apparent that the reason why Chris Stuckmann didn't want to criticize movies and filmmakers anymore was because he made a transition to becoming a filmmaker himself, and he didn't want any criticism coming the way of himself or any of his work. Forgetting the criticism and being able to take it is an important part of being a creative.
Meeting filmmakers, talking to them at festivals, going onto their sets, really seeing how much work goes into even your average, not so great movie. I just don't feel like doing that anymore. I don't want to talk negatively about filmmakers. I don't want to trash filmmakers. It would be strange for me to be making movies and also shitting on other filmmakers.
Signs of fraudulent behavior was already starting to show, but it all ramped up when he started talking about Madam Web in February of 2054. The movie released on Valentine's Day, and within a couple of days, already getting universally panned by critics and fans. Chris, however, took a different approach to it.
So I just saw Madam Web. There was no screening for it in my area. There were no late night showings before the day, so I had to go see it on Valentine's Day.
In a video called I Have to Talk About This, it was pretty clear that he didn't want to talk about the movie because he would have to say negative things about it.
Since I do try to keep it mostly about film celebration on this channel. Having seen the film, I'm going to tell you that this is not a movie review of Madam Web. I am not about bashing filmmakers, artists. I know how hard it is to make a movie.
What he probably didn't realize though was that by saying that, he's pretty much implying that the film was bad anyway. Then he moves on pretty quickly to blame the studio for the movie's problems, which of course he's not going to mention.
I do not know how hard it is to make a movie under the studio system. I was able to make an indie film without a giant corporation breathing down my neck, which is not the privilege that S.J. Clarkson had when she directed Madam Web under Sony, which I can only imagine was monumentally difficult. This is not going to be a video about Madam Web and telling you whether or not you should see Madam Web. There are plenty of people on this platform, as well as a website dedicated to aggregating reviews and giving it a number that's going to inform you of that, and you can choose to listen to those voices if you want. The information is out there. What I am compelled to make a video about is something that I heard pretty much every writer, some directors, and most actors bashing last year, and that is movie studios.
Then he tries to paint Sony in a bad light by listing off other failed Spider-Man movies. The only problem, however, is that the list starts after the first two Raimi Spider-Man movies and leaves out the awesome animated Spider-Verse movie, which if you haven't seen yet, do yourself a favor and go watch them.
This video is inspired by essentially every live-action film that Sony has had some involvement in since Spider-Man 3 in the Spider-Man verse, that being Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, Venom, Venom Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and Madam Web.
Squaring off the Spider-Verse movies as unintentional anomalies.
The way I view the two Spider-Verse movies is kind of the same way I view The Invisible Man and Split and Get Out and other films that Blumhouse has produced. Because Blumhouse has produced a lot of other movies as well. But those three really do seem like, damn, where'd those come from?
Then he goes on to say that the movie had no signs of a bad filmmaker despite him already implying that the film was bad, and then claim he saw countless evidence of a meddling movie studio, but of course not showing any of that evidence.
Now, for a filmmaker like S.J. Clarkson, who made Madam Web, she's had a long and respectable career directing television, but she's directing her first movie, and it's a Sony superhero movie. When I saw Madam Web earlier today, there wasn't a single part of me that thought, wow, this is just a terrible filmmaker. I could not help but see the myriad of evidence that has been laid at all of our feet that this is a studio that is simply retaining the rights to their characters, that does not care about the quality of this experience they're giving us.
And then he goes on and on and on about the filmmaker experience, white knighting for S.J. Clarkson, without actually providing any evidence of excessive studio interference in the production of the movie.
Because when I watched Madam Web, there wasn't a single part of me that thought a writer sat down and came up with the idea of the final fight happening underneath a giant neon Pepsi-Cola sign. I just don't think a writer sat in their apartment in LA and thought, that's a good idea. I'm pretty sure Sony said, we have to incorporate Pepsi in some way and deal with it. And that's what it's like for a lot of these creatives.
And then, without acknowledging the amount of trust required from studios to hand these creatives their first job, he claims they're only hired to be bossed around and then tells the fans to go out and support good movies. Again, not realizing if he, the movie critic, doesn't tell the people honestly what movies are good or bad, and they won't be able to follow his advice.
In the case of a lot of these filmmakers who make their first movie as a giant studio film, the studio does not look at that filmmaker as if they are an equal. They look at them as if they're someone they can boss around and tell them what to do because they're paying the bills, and what have you done exactly? And that's a lot of what we're seeing now. So pay for movies that are good, keep paying for movies that are good. That's the only way that we can turn the dial to where it needs to be.
This video received heavy backlash. A few of the top comments read, "It's funny how Dakota Johnson was a harsher critic of her own movie than Chris Stuckmann. How to say Madam Web sucks without saying Madam Web sucks." And my personal favorite, there's a difference between bashing creators and criticizing art. It didn't stop there though. On Twitter, a YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers called him out and tagged clips saying, "He's so annoying, oh my god." It quickly bubbled into something big. Another YouTuber, Mark the Cyborg, responded saying, "Bro's trying so hard to say this movie is a piece of shit, while still being able to talk to the director someday and say I defended you." Disparu, a movie and TV YouTube reviewer, chimed in saying, "If it was good though, he could review it. The inability to comment is the comment. He might as well say it, rather than point at the elephant in the room and scream, 'I'm not going to talk about the elephant in the room.'" And finally, Nerdrotic, a YouTube reviewer with almost 1 million subscribers, tweeted, "Stux just wants to be in the Filmmakers Club. The sad thing is, they will never accept him." Chris Stuckmann has fallen so far off the wheel that even his fellow colleagues are calling him out on his content. He's only a YouTuber at this point because his career as a director hasn't taken off yet. He calls himself a reviewer and a movie lover. But if you adamantly refuse to criticize any movie or any director, simply because on the off chance that he might upset them before he gets to work with them, and the fact that he doesn't want to get criticized himself when he comes out with a movie.